Well done, Jimmy. Good job of the intro. One take, Jake.
Yeah, that one felt good.
It was great.
That one felt good.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you rounders out there, welcome to
Mhm.
episode 26, 26, which is fitting. Fayetteville.
Cheers.
Cole's album dropped last week. It's phenomenal. I love it. I had to plug it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, dude. Big J. Cole
Quick-
fan. You were on it before anybody.
Well, I wouldn't say
we,
anybody, but
well,
yeah.
that
young.
we hung out with.
Yeah. I think it was Holly Devine's, David Devine, I think is who it was.
Oh,
We
really?
were at Jericho's house one day, and he said, yeah, his kid's from Fayetteville. He's in my home room. And he was on Blueprint 3, The Star is Born. And I had listened to his mixtape prior, and I was like, holy shit. And now he's going to be the first artist ever to have his first 6 solo projects go number 1, debut number 1.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
which
I
is
mean,
awesome.
to be fair, like I'm not the biggest J. Cole. I don't listen to it. I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah.
It's just not my style. I mean, it's okay. A lot of it's all right. But I suggest anybody out there who is a true J. Cole fan and haven't listened to his first mixtapes,
Yeah.
go listen to those.
Listen to the come up.
Yeah, go listen to those, man.
It's like, you could tell, it's like he made that shit in his room.
Oh yeah,
but
it's a whole different kind of J. Cole, but it's cool. I will say this: it's cool to see the evolution of him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He was one of those artists that is he can evolve over time. A lot of artists can't. Like they come out like, they're crazy like hardcore gangster, and then okay, you got rich now, you made it. So
It's like, now what?
yeah, and it's like this cat. You said he was
He just keeps
he's
doing.
he plays pro ball.
Right now, he's in Rwanda.
Yeah.
He always wanted to play basketball. That was like his dream.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, I killed the rap game. Now let's do that.
Yeah.
And this season is the inaugural season of the Pro Basketball League in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And he's down there playing with the Rwanda Patriots or something. But yeah, he had 17 minutes. He had 3 points, 2 assists, a steal, a couple rebounds.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it is what it is. Either way, album's fire. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, shout out to
It's
him.
probably my favorite one.
Well, hold on. Right now, you said what was the record that he has right now?
Yeah, so it'll be his 6th solo project in a row to debut number 1,
Mm-hmm.
which is a record. Beating out Drake. Drake drops in a few months, though, and they'll be tied.
Yeah. So this is like the Tom Brady, Drew Brees throwing touchdowns back and forth, like
Yeah.
that record kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's about it, yeah. And they're both pretty good at what they do.
Yep.
No doubt about it. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at AroundWTheBoys. Like and subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel, all the above. I celebrated my birthday this past weekend.
Mm.
Pretty good time, I will
And your
say.
engagement.
Yeah, it was the engagement party / birthday party. I turned
Yeah.
33. But this week's small business we're going to feature is Rude Boys Barbecue. Rude Boys Jerk Grill is what they are.
Yeah.
And if you know, a couple episodes ago, we did 7 Mile Post. This Rude Boys Jerk Grill is in 7 Mile Post.
Yeah.
So it's attached to it. And dude, his guy's name's Tito. He's the coolest dude in the world, and that food was good.
Yeah. And their little logo matches the personality of the whole deal.
It's great. It's great. We got the wings, we had mozzarella
Yeah.
sticks, and the empanadas were just people were hammering the empanadas.
Yeah. That
As
food
we-
went pretty quick.
And I'll tell you what, besides having like a pretty decent amount of chips and salsa left over the next morning,
Mm-hmm.
there were 6 wings on the platter.
The wings were a big hit.
They were good too, about 2 in the morning. Today's episode, we are going to talk about James's show. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple episodes ago, he said that once we hit 1,000 Instagram followers, he was going to release it to the masses.
Yep.
And we're almost there.
Yeah, we're like a 960 something, so it's close enough. And I just it's that time. Just go ahead and put it out there.
Yeah, well, it sucks because like the week before everything shut down back last year, like March,
Yeah.
beginning of March, you guys were actually talking to a place downtown to do like an actual premiere.
Yeah, so I was gonna do this whole little premiere, invite everybody, one of those proud moments, and bring everybody together, really get people to see it. But COVID hit, and then everything went to shit for a year and some change, and here we are now. So I figured, like, doing the podcast and whatnot, we might as well give our rounders a little treat. And hey, here's a 22-minute episode of some funny stuff.
Yeah. And a quick note, I still have not seen the episode.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it. I was around for shooting days. I have a voiceover in it,
Yeah, Johnny's got a voiceover.
but I still have not seen it yet.
He's got some FIFA clips in it.
Yeah, so it'd be cool. I'm not. I watched like the first 5 minutes earlier, and I'm really excited about it. You guys are gonna be surprised. Like it is a
Well,
legit show.
yeah. So
But I have some questions for you.
okay.
So let's get into it. When did you start writing it? First of all, tell people what it's about.
All right. So the show's called Adults. All right. And so basically what it was about, it's a funny take / realistic take on my life. Okay. And at that time, so I wrote it 3 years ago. So I wrote it in like 2 months, and then I scraped together all the money I needed and then shot it like 6 months after I wrote it. And so that was like, so I shot it. It'll be 3 years in November since I shot it. And everybody's like, yeah, that's a long time. But there's a whole backstory to why it took so long, and that part sucked. And so then I finally got it done, and then COVID hit. But, to answer your question, I started writing about 3 years ago.
And you said it took about 2 months?
Yeah.
I remember you up there.
Yeah, so because John lived with me at the time.
Yeah. And like, it was every night
Mm-hmm.
buried in that computer. But
Yeah.
you did it like the right way. Like I remember you were like, yeah, check out. So like, here's like the first kind of like little draft. And I was like, holy shit. Like this like looks like a movie studio did this type shit. So you knew what you were doing, I guess.
Well, I bought this little book called Save the Cat. So if anybody out there wants to write a movie. So that was the whole thing. Like I knew it was going to be expensive to film something, but like I bought the Save the Cat and I wrote, basically this show is a movie in 22 minutes.
Right.
And it's a lot going on, and you got to pay attention, and then we can talk about what I would do differently later. But anyway, those are my first time doing it. I've been acting for 10 years now, and so at the time I'd just been an actor, and I was like, you know what, let's try this writing thing. But the whole idea was it was about my life and a funny take on it, and then I just changed some names and like definitely the scenario. Like it's not really what we do all the time.
No.
But yeah, I just came home every night after work and just wrote, because like when I have something in my mind and I'm gonna do it, I'm doing it.
And you did. I mean, you were
Yeah.
there every night.
So
So you have it written, right? Now it's time to find like a product. Like, how do you find a crew, or like who do you say? All right, I want this guy to be the director. Like, how's that process work?
all right, and before we get there, final draft is the the writing software that I used.
Oh, okay.
All right, just so everybody knows out there, if you want to write, that thing will help you get it in TV format, movie format, all that stuff. Because you're looking at a guy, school was not my forte, so to
Far
say.
from it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I had to learn how to write and do all that. But all right, so with the crew, obviously I had to shop around. First off, I had to shop around to get numbers and ballpark, and then I had to get the money.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How'd you get the money?
So the money was, I had so I wrote it in November, and then I got my tax refund, and I already had some money saved up.
Right.
So I basically had 10 grand. Okay.
Right.
And then, I convinced my parents to like, go in on this with me. Like, you never know, this could be whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So they spotted another like 10 or so. And then my aunt, put in a couple, right?
Right.
And
If you
then-
don't know Aunt Jane, just know that she is the best aunt in all the land.
Oh, all the land. And now here's the other thing. Oh, and she makes great peanut butter balls. They are the best. So here's the thing.
Implemento cheese.
So I just said those numbers, right? Turns out with any production, you're going to spend more than that.
Yeah.
Right. So I ended up spending a few thousand more, like over time, like with the edits and
Right.
and I need to fix this, fix that. I mean, I could go on for a day. Every little fee, like it just adds up over time. So my basic rule from now on, if I do any project, I'm going to have a number in my head, then I'm going to times it by 3. Right. So hopefully that is just way out of the range of how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And we'll come back down to around 2 times.
And
as
like,
much
there's so
as
many
it was.
little things too. Like,
Yeah.
I remember you paid for lunch for a bunch of people that were there that day, like on set and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like little expenses like that you don't realize.
Yeah, and so
I
that
guess
goes in the overall budget, and that's what, like, going back to who I hired out and all, like, I shopped around, asking who was the best in town, basically, to film it, that would do it at a decent price. And then, finally, I met up with Craig Thiemann and landed on, and we did did a deal, and then we worked it out like that. And so he was the main, like, he had all the equipment, like, he had made his own full feature production. And that was the thing, I was just looking at people's trailers, that they've made on their previous production. It's like, okay, I like that, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And again, I've never done this, so it's like, I know I'm walking into something that I'm inexperienced at, but like I still have to make the call.
Right.
You know, so that was a whole wild part of
Rookie.
it. Yeah, for sure. Greenhorn.
Yeah,
You know,
just a
if
rookie
you
out
will.
there trying to ball.
Yeah, so you know, got up with him, and then we did the deal, and you know, then it was casting, which was awesome.
Yeah. How is that like? It's like, no, next. Like I can't even imagine what all goes into that shit.
Well, so first off, what I tried to do, I wanted to recruit as many local people as possible,
Mm.
right? So I went down to I can't believe I'm blanking on the name right now, the comedy club downtown, and was just watching people perform, right? And that was cool in itself because like here I am an actor, you know, I've done improv, been taught improv, all that stuff, and I'm down there literally recruiting. I felt so fucking cool, you know, because
Yeah,
by that time I had gathered up the money, I did all that, and like, I mean, now I'm broke, I have nothing, like,
Yeah.
you know what I
But,
mean?
like you're on the other side. Like you're going to these auditions weekly,
Yeah,
and now it's
yeah. So I feel like you get to feel like a producer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I gathered all this money, I spent it, now it's time to like put it to work.
Right.
Here we are. And so I'm going down there and I'm talking to guys, and you know what I found? Like a lot of the improv people just didn't want to do it.
Why?
I don't know, man, because I almost feel like they just doing that for like they're passionate about improv and that's what they love, and they love the stage. Like some people just don't want to do the camera stuff, which was really interesting. Like I had two guys audition, and then one of them, like they just didn't match. I had other people that matched better towards the character,
Mhm.
right? So I had some people like, yeah, sure. And I know I have actor friends that probably, if they listen to this right here, like they're down there at improv and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But those weren't the ones I needed for the spots.
Yeah.
That's another thing about like acting, like, you know, it's just kind of a luck of the draw thing. You know, like this character, you fit the description of this character.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, hey, you're a great actor, but I literally have nothing for you. You know what I mean? It's not your fault. It's the script.
Has that happened to you?
Hell yeah.
You think like the Chad Davis role was like, oh, this guy's perfect.
Yeah, for sure. Because this military looking dude, like, and he was the Chad Davis role was my little Iron Man 3 role I had.
little
Yeah, but
1.5.
but that was just like some dude from the country that sat in the other, and literally it's exactly, you know, where I'm from. So
Yeah, I guess that does work like a niche.
yeah.
But do you think like people get stuck in like that niche role?
Yeah, but then people branch out. Like sometimes, sometimes it just takes one audition where your hair's longer or you have some look going on,
Yeah.
and it's like maybe you cut yourself,
Right.
and you just happen to have that audition with like you're the drug dealer or you're the badass, and like
It works out.
yeah, like hell yeah. So
Yeah.
sometimes like changing your appearance and doing all that like that doesn't make a big difference.
I do feel like some actors are just stuck in like the same kind of.
Yeah, well,
fucking-
some of them,
like Liam Neeson, like, dude, we know what your movie's gonna be about.
Hey, but it's by choice though. He's making millions of dollars.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just,
Yeah, like he's probably having a good time. He's staying in great shape, you know, through the years.
a great way to stay in shape.
Great way to stay in shape.
But then you look at people like Leo.
Yeah,
Guy can do anything.
yeah.
Like it's incredible.
Well, and I also think it's like, man, people start trusting you to handle bigger things. That's the other thing. Like, so you get that one branch out role, like nail it,
Mhm.
like go hard in it, because then somebody's like, wow, they got range. They can really get to where it needs to go. And that's when you have your great character actors like, you know, God, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy from Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York and all that. I'll get his name here in a little bit, but Michael Day Lewis, maybe. I don't know. And here's the funny part about me: I'm not a big I'm not into famous people. I don't know like their names. I really don't care. I just like the performance.
You just like the craft, yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Day Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would mean Michael. But anyway, yeah, I just love movies. Period. Like I don't really care who's there, and
Right.
that shit means nothing to me.
Yeah.
But so anyway, back to the
Yeah. So all right. So now you have your cast.
Yeah. Well, no. Like picking them. I'm picking them still.
Oh yeah.
So I went through the thing. So I wrote this kind of about like my life, right? So I had John audition for it, for the part, but kind of based off him.
Yeah.
And I had Tesh audition on his part, which like they did great, to be honest with you. And I still have those clips, by the way.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I would like that.
So we started local, and we just weren't hitting, and obviously in my agency, and it just wasn't, I just wasn't finding really what I wanted. Like obviously great actors and this, that, and the other. So we hired a casting director, you know, so that's another add-on spending. We tried not to do that, had to do it. And then she found some great people. So and that's what was cool when I was getting auditions from people from Atlanta, you know, and like
Damn, were they sending them in? Where are they coming?
no. It's all email. So like people have little studios, like this is our little studio. They have a little studio set up, and then they do it right there.
Right.
So anyway, so then I had Nick send his in, and then Zane, and it was cool. What was cool was like seeing these different people play my friends, right, in reality, because it's about me as well as them. So it was just neat, man, seeing their take on it and how they got into it, and like them asking questions about my friends and all that, and like how they really act.
Yeah, so I remember the dude. So Anthony, right, who played kind of the role.
Anthony Police.
Yeah, guy's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And when he met me, I felt like I was I don't know. He was like, dude, it's so great to meet you. I've heard so much about you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, man. I'm like, well, shit, like, let's have a beer. Like, it really isn't. And what was funny is that he was so good at like the little tendencies that I have or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he really, and like the Hawaiian shirt with the beard, it was just kind of very me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And like I wanted, because obviously he's from up north.
Yeah.
And so I wanted somebody from up north because you're from New Jersey.
Right.
I mean, like you're Southern acquainted now.
Right.
But you still have that flow to you.
So, yeah.
So anyway, I wanted that. And so that was cool. And then, I mean, everybody, I don't know. Everybody was great. Everybody I selected, I think, was the perfect choice. I'll put it that way.
Even like the I guess the villain in the episode, right?
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
The bodyguards are great. Because and we'll get into that. Like so, I'll save that actually because that was a cool day to come watch a full day of that, which we'll talk about. But so how long does it take to like select the actors and actresses? Like how long was that process start to finish? Like, all right, now I'm ready to film.
Oh man, so before like you select them and then you have to go scout for places. That's the next step. Like, so we had already had some ideas of places we were going to film.
Right.
You know, but I mean, in terms of that, finding the actors kind of took a little bit. That's why we had to get the casting director.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was dang near a month in itself.
Yeah.
And then you have to do the deals. Like, you know, some of them wanted more money than others because they had done more stuff. And I was like, okay, I hear you.
Yeah, like the better the resume. Is that?
But I don't have more money. That's the problem here. Like I ran out. Like I don't understand.
Yeah. 3 Dutchmen.
Yeah, so like I can show you around town or do something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But so that was whatever. We actually the coolest part was like one of the old lady in the film.
She was great.
She was great. She stayed at my parents' house and like was there for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's cool about her, she was from England originally.
Right. And
then like did theater over there and then came over here and taught theater forever.
Where did she live though?
What do you mean? Oh, and like I think Winston-Salem or something.
Yeah, that's right. I remember because I got her an Uber back to your parents' house one day.
Yeah.
They were calling you. You're like, dude, just handle that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no worries. And walked her out there. She's like, you guys are just the sweetest. This has been the sweetest thing. I was like, oh man, the Rackleys are very good hosts.
Dude, she sent us a nice little card and everything. Yeah. It was great.
She was awesome though.
And so I hope she's doing well.
Yeah, you should reach out.
Yeah.
Have they?
Well,
all
I've tried
seen
before, and like I don't.
Have any of them seen this? The full?
Yeah. A few of them have. Like Zane saw it because like I was trying to put it in film festivals and all.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that too. So yeah, a handful of them. Most of them have seen it. Yes.
All right. So you have the actors. Now you got to find the places.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into that?
Man, just begging.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, like you. So, well, one of the locations was going to be my parents' house.
Right.
Right. So we knew that was cool, but that's only for X amount of scenes, So then you had to get lucky and stuff like that, right? So that's what the benefit of, hiring somebody that has done stuff around town.
Mm-hmm.
They've already used locations before, so they've already had relationships with people, and they can go back and ask.
Yeah.
So like one of them was Growlers downtown.
Yeah, that was the day I was there for that production.
Yeah.
That was the only day I was there for production.
And so like that one, that was a difficult one because like we only had X amount of time and then the bar was opening. Like we were like the bar was open and we were, unpacking all our shit. Or I mean,
you guys were packing it. And
yeah, we were packing it
and
leaving. Yeah, excuse me, not unpacking. And so that was kind of crazy. And then like one of the house scenes was was just a property that one of them owned, like a old rental one, but had been messed up and needed, like, for some reason there was no renters there, no nothing, and so we got to use that.
Really?
Yeah, so that was great because then we had to film in that whole neighborhood, running around in the car and like doing all
Okay,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. So we just kind of didn't ask anybody in the neighborhood. We just kind of did it.
So
And
that's the opening scene when you guys see this.
yeah.
That's yeah.
So what's kind of funny about that? It's like there's like people out in the neighborhood in the street just kind of like watching, doing our thing. We're like,
That's
all right,
good though. Like,
no, it was cool, but it was just kind of like just like a couple of you in there are fine, but like the little kids wanted to show off their basketball skills and shit. I'm like, dude, I would love to shoot that. It'd be great, but
Yeah.
we got time sensitive stuff here.
man, time is money,
Yeah, literally.
especially in that shit.
Yeah. So getting the scenes and then like the derby track. So you'll see like the messed up car and all that. Like one of these guys was like really into the derby racing. Okay. And so they had a relationship, and that's the whole reason that's even in the script. 'Cause
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Like, you
Yeah.
didn't originally have that plan, did you?
I didn't have that planned at all. And
But it makes it great.
I mean, it is cool. It adds another layer to it. And
Yeah.
so the Craig Thiemann, he like suggested it and like added that in there. And it really didn't change the script too much, except for like that part. I mean, everything else that was happening was still happening.
Right.
Like the chase scene and all that. But so anyway, that was cool because they had a relationship out there, and so we got to go film out there at that track. And
And that was in Winnebago, right?
yeah,
That's where I think that's where it is.
yeah, sure.
That's where the mud 4x4 race is and all that shit.
Yeah, so it was out there. I mean, I don't know. I'd never been out there before. You know what I mean?
I know.
And so we had to go out there and film and do all that. And the other one was like this little baby store, like peanut butter and jelly or something like that. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's a baby toy store.
Yeah. And that lady was just as nice as she could be. I just walked in there like, hey, do you mind? She's like, oh, are you a student at UCW? I was like, I was. She was like, oh, well, either way. Yeah, that's cool. Just come on, we're closed Sunday or whatever. And then, so that was no problem.
Yeah, that's
Like
easy.
it really all worked out. The only place we had a hiccup was obviously Growlers.
Yeah,
And that sucked because we had some real pivotal scenes there.
yeah.
And like we started the day with somebody doing
Construction.
like above us.
Yeah.
And so this guy, I can't remember this dude's name. I've only met him a handful of times, just went up there and paid these guys to quit, like for the day. And so, but later I found out him and Craig were doing another job on something else. So like,
Yeah.
whatever. Cause I was like, man, I appreciate it. You don't have to do that. Like we can just make do. Cause I literally was tapped out with
Yeah.
money.
Right.
Done.
Yeah.
Anywho, so he did that. They stopped for the day. And then so we got to film in there and then obviously had to race time the whole day.
But that was cool. So I went to that Growlers film session because you guys have seen the show, but like my Xbox was used for that.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I set everything up, and I think I went to work for a couple hours and then came back. I remember walking in and a lady just like stopped me and she's like, no, sir. I was like, easy. I'm with him. And,
Yeah.
and she was like, what? And I was like, yo, James. And you turn around and you're like, yeah, he's fine. Like he's
Yeah.
good. And she's like, okay, sorry about that. Oh, can I get you anything? And I'm like, oh shit, he really is. I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah. For
But,
5
like-
days of my life, I was a boss.
Yeah, like but it was cool, like, because they had wardrobe over here, they had hair and
Yeah.
makeup over here. I'm like, damn, this is like a real shit.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely we did everything right. Like like you had to do it with SAG and all that kind of stuff.
Dude, yeah, and like,
But I went ahead and broke the rules anyway. Like
of
in certain
course,
situations for show.
well, rules are meant to be broken, right?
Yeah,
And like, but even the cameras and the lighting and this and that and the production guys, the radio, like the sound.
oh yeah, those
guys,
are all professional guys. Like,
professional shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, this is a real production.
yeah, and so that day, that was the day where we had the extra crew. So we got the places. So all right, you get the places, and then you got to figure out what equipment you're going to need for all these places.
Yeah.
And are we going to need more crew? All these. I mean, there are so many factors to it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know what I mean? So anyway, so that day we had to have an extra crew. We actually had 2 cameras that day,
Mhm.
and we've been filming most of it with one. So that one, and that's a whole nother layer. So for those of you who don't know out there, most movies are shot with 1 camera, and most TV shows are shot with 2.
Is that right?
Yep. And the whole thing is time, right? So if you're doing a movie, you have this big budget, and there's still a time schedule on it, but the 1 camera adds way more control, right? So
Yeah.
you have that one guy who's on it the whole time, and then the director of photography and all that, and there's that relationship versus A TV show, you'd have 2 cameras. That's 4 different guys, 2 different visions, and then you got different lighting over here. And then it just adds more. It saves you time, but it's not as good as quality, basically.
Right. Okay.
Like unless you're doing a full scale crazy production with all kinds of money. So there was like differences in the shot and all kinds of
Do you
stuff.
think like the HBO shit, like Game of Thrones and shit, is that like movie quality production
Yeah, yeah.
in a TV show?
100,000%.
So you're talking like it's like sitcoms and whatnot.
Yeah. Like
Cable TV shows. Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
That's wild. I never
Yeah.
would have known that. I would have thought there are 3-4 cameras in a movie.
Yeah, nah. It's the
That's
same thing.
fucking crazy.
And that's why, like, one scene, you're doing it 30 something times. And a lot of the actors, like sometimes like the big actors, right? If you're like a smaller role kind of person,
Yeah.
you're sitting there doing your lines, like with a famous actor who's not there. Like you're looking at a mark. You know what I mean? So you're in the scene with this great actor, but you're not there. You're not in the scene with him.
That's just a testament to how good editing is.
Oh, true. And it's just, I mean, all like the movies, it's mind games, like visual mind games is what it is.
Right.
It's like a magic show.
Always visualizing it
Yeah.
and then bringing it to
And
life.
it's escaping you. It's making your mind escape like something that's not ordinary.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because they
Right.
probably have like the A-list actors, right? They probably only have them for
Yeah.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, or whatever.
Yeah. And it's like they're going to use them for those times. I mean, yeah. Or endless kind of situations where like, okay, we needed to do, like, so
Well,
for
that's the other
instance,
thing. Everything's shot in all different.
yeah. So for instance, on Iron Man, right, I was filming upstairs and they were still filming downstairs. So there was 2 different filmings going on. The director was running up and down the stairs,
Holy shit!
right? You know what I'm saying? But obviously he has it under control. He's done it before.
Guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the whole like picking places, and then you deal with all that and you try to get it in and out of there as quick as possible. But the one thing, if you ever get into making movies, you got to stress on whoever's location it is. Yeah, this is going to take a lot longer than you think.
Yeah.
Like, I know I would never say, oh, this would be a couple hours. Nah, dude.
I think the bartender was like getting set up when you guys were still.
No, she was. There was
Film-
literally, we were breaking the shit down and people were coming in. People were buying drinks in there, like doing their deal.
Yeah, I remember they're like, you got to put that whole thing back because remember we rearranged that whole shit up there.
Yeah, dude, all kinds of mess. But
It was
so that's,
fun though.
That's locations on that.
So then you shoot. How long was like shooting
We
from
sh-
like the first? This is day 1 to that's a wrap. Because I think
shot- it was 5 days.
because Growlers was like the wrap, right? You guys had a wrap party there.
That was Growlers was the last day.
Yeah.
So Growlers was the last day, and well, it wasn't the longest day. It was the day that we had to cram the most crap into the quickest.
Yeah.
It sucks, and I really say like because those scenes, the scenes were in Growlers could have been so much better, so much more full. That's a regret that I have. Like I wish we could have got 2 days out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, another day, another
God knows how much money.
checkbook. You know what I mean? So you
Paying
got to
homeboys
do.
above you to not work. And
Yeah,
shit.
and you got to do. I mean, so you just got to do what you can. But it was cool that like, okay, that was our last day of filming. Was at the bar,
Yeah.
and then we just got to celebrate.
Put
like-
everything away and then just stay.
like right there. So that was awesome. And then the next morning, I woke up and fly to Dallas and got to see Dallas play the Redskins on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. That was right.
So
there.
that was a hell of a celebration. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because then it's all like behind you. Now it's in the hands of.
Oh yeah, dude. I
editors.
was I
How relieved were you? I remember standing there looking at him when he said, "And that's a wrap," and you just pounding beers
dude. It was just
because you didn't drink at all. Like, I mean, you did like production and everything, but you
Yeah.
were so like,
well, dude. You can't like so when you're doing that. So the whole thing, you plan and plan and plan to get to these shoot days.
right,
I mean, there is so much planning that goes into it, man. You gotta like, what time are these actors going to show up? What time's the crew need to be there? You know, then you got to do the whole catering thing. You got to get lunch for everybody. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I will say that is probably one of the biggest challenges. Is like, 'cause I'd never produced before, right? And I'm having to act in it too.
right.
So I'm having to worry about a performance and the entire performance. And that was something. That was a big learning curve.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's why I literally don't like my performance in it. But like, but no, but I'm
you're always hard on yourself though.
yeah, true. But I'm just saying, like, because I couldn't really just, delve into that. So like, I'll never, if you see somebody that says directed by a person and then starring them at the same time, give them like that's mad props to them, because that's a lot of stress, dude.
Yeah,
Well, it's just you.
And it's like on
Yeah.
bigger productions like that, I think they can just sub out all that shit.
I mean, true.
You know, like it was you making sure everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
even that's why last day when I was there, everyone was like, "Dude, just handle this shit for me. I have to be on camera. You know,
Yeah.
get her an Uber home. Make sure these people are fine, man, whatever."
Yeah.
I think had you had something like that all 5 days, it would have been better for you.
Yeah, that would have been better, but it's okay.
But again, you do this shit yourself, which is like, first of all, I commend you on that because not many people can say, "Yeah, I wrote, helped produce, co-directed,
Well, I
shot."
think it was I wrote, produced, and acted in my
Yeah,
own.
and start in your
Yeah.
own show, which like, and then okay, so now it's done, and you want to get in film festivals.
Yeah, but before that, I want to say thanks to all. There's a scene where we had kids there, okay, and that was the craziest day out of all of them.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we had like, I'd say 12, 2 to 6-year-old kids for
Oh,
this like
shit.
little, I don't even, what was it, like a little princess party.
yeah, costume party. Or something.
Yeah, and so that was a crazy ass day.
That was one at your parents' house.
Yeah, it's like
Luckily,
yeah, so doing all that and like that was wild. And like I said, I commend all those people, like, and the patience. That was
Yeah.
one thing, because I stressed for them. Like, man, I had, like, for the dads that were there, I had beers for them.
hmm
I had everything, like, just please,
yeah,
But it was so cool having, like, seeing the, like, shout out to Sarah and Greg, but little Emma,
yeah,
like, her doing her little performance,
yeah,
because that was neat to see them, like, step up to the plate and do it and not be shy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have
So
they seen it yet?
no, I don't think they
So
have.
everybody's
So
seen
they can see it too, but.
By the way, when you guys hear this, the full length episode will be live on the YouTube, so you guys can go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I saw the first 5 minutes and I was like, I could have watched it before, and I told James I wouldn't until it premiered, and I'm still not going to watch it until this episode drops. But I did see the first 5 minutes because I'm using it in a
Yeah.
teaser. But I was blown away.
Well, I will say this: like, I want you guys to appreciate the car scenes, okay? Because my man, like Craig, was on top of there's like frontal shots of me and driving in the car.
Mm-hmm.
This dude's literally on the car with the camera.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm sitting there nervous as shit because like this is our whole production right here.
Yeah,
So I'm having to like do my thing, not drive too fast in this shitty car that
it
like
is a piece of shit.
the battery was in the front seat and I had to hooked up the battery and then like hit the ignition and do all that excuse me, I had to turn on the battery, turn on the fan, then hit the ignition.
Fan.
Yeah, to keep the shit cool, like the engine or something like that. But anyway, it was just all kinds of mess like that. And so then the scenes in the neighborhood, if y'all watch the whole thing, when this man is in the car, like, scrunched up and this, that, and the other, like we had to do all this stuff. And that was what was hilarious. We're driving around my parents' neighborhood with, 4 grown men in a car, one of them with a camera in his hand, like not a little one,
Yeah,
a big legit camera. It was just crazy how the lengths we had to go to get everything done.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's a lot.
For sure, man. And it was just cool, man. Like, it was cool to be, how do I put this? Like, when I go on a set and acting, like on a regular job, I'm hired. I go there. They're like, oh yeah, you go from A to B to C. Everybody's telling you what to do. You do anything, and then okay, get out of here. Thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this whole shitstorm. Like, it.
Started as a little thought in your head one day.
Yeah, and here it is moving, and I'm watching all these moving parts, and like, dude, all this came from some idea I had, put it on paper, and now here it goes. But that's all movies are.
Yeah, but to be able to
Yeah.
say that you did it.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, because, dude, I'll never forget this. Like, the wardrobe lady, like, God bless her, like she was. I mean, she's absolutely adamant, like a very high tension person, and I'm like, dude, all right, look.
Don't need that right now.
I don't. And then, you had to solve little problems like that. But like, Seth and Taylor, I had them be backups for they were bad guy background. Okay.
Right, yeah.
They're like the thugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, man, because they obviously weren't working for the day because they were going to help me out. They're like, man, you care if we drank down there? I was like, no, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, dude, half of everybody, yeah, I want everybody drinking. I want this like Animal House, like drink, do your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that lady was just like, are you guys are you guys drinking right now? And like really jumped their shit. And Taylor was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, dude, she came up and talked to me. I was like, it's okay. It's, she's like, you know, something about non-professional or something. I was like, dude, no, this is what comedies are about.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And not to mention, you have the profession at the moment because you wanted to be with this project. You know what I mean? Like, let it go. But it was just one of those things. Like, I got to like actually live the movie experience that I thought growing up as a kid watching like Porky's or Animal House or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You think off camera they're all drinking, having a good time,
Right?
And so I finally got to freaking do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wasn't about like
you've never done that shit on like any of your
hell
jobs.
no.
Yeah.
But like on my job, yeah, dude. Like the beers are open. Like this is I wanted it to feel like and like Kenny Powers, I wanted to be like, dude, okay, I'm sure they had a good time on set.
And you know they did.
Well, in some places, I'm telling you, dude. In reality, like real set life, it's not like that.
Yeah,
it's really not, because I've been there for plenty of drinking and smoking scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, nah, it's all legit. Like most of the damn time. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure there, you know, I would say it was more prominent back in the day than it is now.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You know, for sure.
Yeah. Damn. So how long? Okay, so now you wrap filming.
Yeah.
Then the whole editing process was like nuts and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So the editing process got drug out a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
And I did not expect that. You know, it was one of those just one of them things in life, you know, you got to get over. And it wasn't it was out of my control.
Right.
And I couldn't do anything about it, even though I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So, but I finally, after a while, I got that done. And I will say the editing process is, like, John makes these editing videos.
Yeah.
And, like, it's awesome. Because I will say, like, you're piecing together a scene in the editing process. That's wild. Because everything that you captured on film can be manipulated.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? So, like, you could chop off lines here and there.
Right.
Like, if that didn't make sense or that ad-lib didn't work, you could mask it and, like, you know, switch the image, hit the cuts right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like the cuts to, if we change from the camera looking at me and we're, like, changing the scene, I want, so, like, a door opens as the scene changes. Like, if we're in a room, like,
And
yeah.
you want a good transition.
Yeah, but all the time, and make, you know, apply sound to it and do all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so we had to do all that, and we had to really, some scenes we shot longer, and then we had to chop them up.
Yeah.
And like really condense it.
Yeah.
And almost it's painful. It like hurts because you don't want to. You're like, dude, you know what? I want some of that info to get in here, especially with this piece, because it was not written for a 22-minute script.
Right.
It was not. It was written for like a 45-minute ordeal, like a HBO type hour-long.
Yeah, 52-minute or whatever.
Yeah, intro to a season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I obviously didn't have that amount of money.
Yeah.
There was no way I was going to get it. And so anyway, so that was crazy trying to figure that out, as well as like picking the music.
Yeah.
You know, because I had to get music that wasn't copyrighted.
Licensed, yeah.
Yeah, so I had to go to this other little program, and shout out to Tommy Nubs Media for that, helping me like fix the editing shit after I got it out of, you know, that other situation. I brought it over to Tommy, and he helped me finalize it and do all that kind of stuff. So so that was cool, like, you know, because you had the editing.
And the editing, so like the little videos that we do here that I do,
Yeah.
I use like a little, it's not a bootleg program, I paid for it, but it's nothing like, because so when I went over to do the voiceover, right after production wrapped, my man's had a huge curved screen, I mean, big ass, and he had the program up, and I'm looking at it like, oh my God, I mean, it's nothing compared to what I use here.
Yeah.
And then he had me sitting with a microphone with like the cover over it, and I was staring at I was watching my own, actually, shout out to the Bro Clubs, the FIFA Bro Clubs boys. It was gameplay from that. And he was like, all right, now just voice over it like you are the commentator. And I was like in this hooded thing, and he was, all right, again. I was like, holy moly. And just looking at his screen and then looking at what I do.
Yeah.
That's just a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got the whole pic. I mean, obviously, you got the microphones of all the actors in it. Then you got.
Yeah, he takes what we do and combines it.
Oh, yeah.
Times 10.
All that stuff and the sound effects. And then you have
Insane.
the lighting on all that. I mean, dude, it's unbelievable how much time you can sit there and edit something. You could always fix something.
Yeah.
Always.
Even when I watch ours, I'm like, damn, should have done this.
I mean, yeah, all the time. But
Yeah.
that's incredible. And I like editing. Like,
It's fun.
you really dig into it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He just, obviously, I couldn't do the editing myself because that's a massive program. And to do that kind of editing we were doing, it's like you need to legitimately know that program.
Oh yeah,
Inside and out.
and it ain't free. I can tell you that.
No, it's not free. And
You need a computer to handle that shit.
and
too.
it's a learning process.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just jump in there and get after it. Like,
Yeah, I know.
there's a whole nother language.
I know all about
But
it.
anyway, you learn a lot, and like I'm watching it, and I'm like, because one thing I have is like the vision, right? I know what feels right, or this, that, and the other, and I at least have that.
Yeah.
Or we wouldn't be here in the first place, you know,
Right.
in terms of making this project.
Right.
But so that was cool, just being there and like, no, that's not working, that's not feeling right, and then you know, having the creative debate back and forth, like,
Yeah.
what feels better, bringing like other people in the room to say, how does that, you know, how does that feel to you, da 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 da.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and like picking the music, obviously I wanted to do that, you know, and that was awesome.
Was that your
But-
favorite part? You'd say?
Of the editing process,
Yeah.
yeah, that and finishing a scene.
Yeah.
When we would like I said, it's all stripped apart. We have different camera angles, so then you have to pick out. So you got coverage. So say it was the scene in the car. We have coverage of 3 people. Me, Pat's character, and then your character. So we all have coverage of the entire scene on one person's face.
Mhm.
So then you got to go through on each person's thing and pick out the moments that they hit the best, and you piece them together with their moments. But one of the other person's moments who you captured might be just a little bit better to hit better for the entire scene. So then you have to sacrifice their cut and come over that.
So it's like building a puzzle, but then constantly rearranging it.
Exactly. And then try to make
Oof.
it, and then you just do shit for fun. Like, okay, well, what if that, and then that might do, like a happy accident happens.
Hmm.
So it's like a Rubik's Cube that you're just constantly twisting around, and then the picture happens.
That's a lot.
It is, and it's crazy because like you get to the point where you sit there like do 8 hours of that shit,
Oof.
and man, then you start dreaming about it, like because like you're so involved in that process, and it's like it takes discipline. I will say that.
Yeah, and that must be wild, like, because you know, actors when they do productions, right? They like get so involved as the character,
Yeah,
and then when it's over,
you're gone.
you're gone. Well, you just had to stay in it, basically,
You had to stay there and live it and
Until-
breathe it and
until it was done.
and just you know, hustle everybody along the way, like, come on, help me, and like keep moving things. And that was a lot of like, you know, for never doing it before, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but I will say it was the greatest experience of my life, like in terms of learning and like doing something and like an accomplishment. Even though like COVID happened, I didn't really get to push it,
Yeah.
but it was awesome.
You still made a festival though.
Yeah, that
What
I
festival
did.
was that?
What it was the Atlanta Underground Film Festival, or wait,
Yeah, that was it.
yeah. So that's what it was. And that was awesome. I will say that because I'll double check that, but
People like you never knew.
yeah. So I finally got to go in front of people. Yeah, the Atlanta Underground Film Festival. That's right. Because the first time I thought I got in the Atlanta Film Festival, I didn't. That's a way bigger one, and so that's why I had to double check that. Can you hand me a beer?
Yep.
So needless to say, like, just to catch everything up, like, all right, COVID happened. That sucks. So I was like, all right, I'll just
The Wilmington premiere was shot, man.
yeah,
I
that was
so
shot.
pissed.
That was whatever. I was pissed, and then basically I couldn't, like, all of Hollywood, everybody just
shut down.
shut down, stopped working, and it's like they're not going to look at new projects when they got hundreds of projects in the hopper that they've already signed to and said yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that's already rolling, and then I feel behind the 8 ball. But anyway, I got into this one, you know, and that was right after Georgia said, you know, we're not worried about the mask situation. That was in the summertime.
Yep.
This past summer, because they were like the first state to say in the mandates.
Yeah.
So that festival was like, well, hell, we could have it outside. So that's what they did.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it was the outside mass media is what it was. Yep.
yep. And so and I was like, well, hell yeah, I'm going, because I didn't want to do Zoom ones.
Yeah,
I
no.
wanted to see, just for my sake, I wanted to see what the audience felt like.
Right.
And like, even though we're not doing a big fancy premiere here, like I still got to see people that I did not know, like not at all laugh.
Right.
And that dude, I can't tell you guys that. All right, so that combined with like being on stage, okay.
Yeah.
I
You
think.
did like a Q&A, right?
Oh yeah, did a Q&A.
Yeah.
Taylor filmed that. I mean, it's kind of grainy quality. He didn't like get up close and like film it. He stayed in the seat and filmed it. But it was still, I appreciate him doing it. But and that was awesome. But like, what was cool, I thought about the film festival. Seeing everybody else's stuff and going like, okay, I'm hanging with these people.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm a competitor.
Yep.
Right now, and I want to know like, all right, I did okay on my first run. But dude, the audience was so diverse.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking. Name a certain sector of people, like they were there.
It didn't matter. Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? And they all, not at the same time, maybe not at the same parts, but they all laughed at one point. And dude,
That's all that matters.
my little heart, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, dude, this is awesome.
That's like the first time you find this like satisfaction from going through the hell.
Dude, it
Because
was.
it took a long time. Dude. It was like a year and a half before you
Yeah,
like,
this
saw
is-
the thing.
Yeah, this is like I said, in November it'll be 3 years since I shot it. So like,
So this is all right. So last year would have been 2. So it's about a year and a half after you shot
yeah.
to finally see people's reactions to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just double checking like when my day here. Yeah. 2018. Yep. So 3 years, but that was awesome, and like true to form, you know, they didn't have they were like, yeah, drinks provided, this, that, and the other. So we had no idea. All right.
It was you and Taylor. Oh shit.
And so what really this Around with the Boys podcast is kind of a continuation of adults to just, cause like it's just us being us.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to show you guys out there, and like we think you can relate to us. So like that's why we made this damn thing.
Yep.
And so true to form, you know, we didn't have a cooler or nothing, right? But I had my backpack, and we were like, dude, I don't know about this. I don't know if there's tickets to the thing, like tickets to like get your beers. You can only have 2 or 3.
Right.
And we had these beers because like, and that was an ordeal in itself, man. Because like a lot of Atlanta was, still kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And like it was during all those riots or like all the protests and all that kind of stuff. So places were locked up, and like it was an ordeal just getting beer, but we found some. And so we put it, so we took the little hotel, little blue trash can that they have, and we dumped the ice in it and put a plastic bag over top of it and dumped our beers in it and put it in my book bag. And we rocked up to the fucking show with
So you
that.
showed up to the film festival with a backpack with a trash can full of beers.
Yeah. Whole trash can.
It's-
And Zane met us there, the guy who played Pat, and he had a couple. He thought it was hilarious because, dude, we got there and it was like, it was just as we thought.
You should have just during your Q&A just like plop the backpack on the stage and, open
Yeah,
it and
dude,
take
yeah.
one out and be like, all right, next
Dude,
question.
Oh my god, it was hilarious, and like the people running it thought it was hilarious too. You know, because I had Taylor holding it, so it was all right. And then I had it on the way back, but on the way back it was bad because that shit was leaking all down my back.
Yeah, I'm the guy with the Premier
Yeah.
backpack full of beers. Don't worry about him.
Yeah. Well, Taylor had it on.
He's with me.
Yeah, Taylor's big self, like they weren't gonna question like what he had going on, and it was outside, so it was like,
Yeah, so it's like
it's no
relax,
big,
dude.
it's no big deal. So, anyways, we took
Like, don't bust balls, man.
Yeah,
You're having a good
yeah.
time. Like,
because
shit.
we also knew that like my part wasn't going on till like 11:30 or something like that, like
Yeah.
later.
Right.
And man, we were like, well, what are we gonna do? You know?
Did you watch any?
Yeah, we watched like 4 or 5 of them.
Oh, nice.
There was like some horror ones, like
Oh, I wouldn't be watching that shit.
well, where was I gonna go? Like,
I don't know.
yeah. So anyway, they had all that kind of stuff, and
How nervous were you? I can't even imagine
how nervous
you
was
were.
I?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's summertime. I'm already sweating.
Yeah.
Sweating tenfold. I put that backpack on myself just to cool down because I was sweating so hard,
Oh
bro.
my god.
Dude, look, man, I'm nervous. Like this is like my first creation, and I'm just putting it out there.
I know,
Like
but like at that point, you just gotta be like, well,
I know, like I'm nervous right now. Like doing this thing about and then going to show. Like I'm nervous about that.
I know you are, and I don't think you'd be putting this out there had you not done this film festival and seen the reaction from the people.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know, but I will say this: like I watched all their stuff, and their stuff was cool. And they had like little Q&As.
Mm-hmm.
They got out there, did their thing. So I made sure I had like a question that I had to respect, like
Right.
to put up there. And when I got up there, everybody had a question, like the people that were there.
Did you have the most questions on yours?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, because they were
Well,
like,
that's interesting.
yeah, they were asking basically a lot of stuff we were covering right here, like where'd you do it, you know, like what made you think of the idea, da da da, da. And like it was just cool to see like the interest right there in front of your face. Like there you go.
Yeah.
You know, and that felt great.
Damn,
man.
I didn't. So you never told me that.
Yeah. So I was
Those
up
questions.
there. I was up there talking for like 10 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah. And then afterwards, man, we just all like all the filmmakers, were just celebrating and everything. And like we'd only had a few beers left, so we tried to pass it all out. But this one dude had like a bottle of champagne, and we were all like taking like
keep it cold in my trash can.
toast and champagne shots. Like, and it was cool, dude. It was a little function, but like I said, man,
It's still the experience.
It was an accomplishment. Like, all right, dude, you made a thing. You got in a festival.
Did that film festival have like a poster?
Yeah, I have it on my or I don't know. They probably do. Yeah.
I might try to find a copy of that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway. Oh, you mean like for the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, for everybody involved? Yeah. Maybe. Actually, I'm sure there was. I have to look on my computer to see if they sent one to me.
Yeah, because that would be cool
But, yeah,
to have.
and then like me and Taylor just proceeded to celebrate
just get after it.
the rest of the night, which was awesome, and it was just a cool deal.
That's awesome. Man, I could imagine being in a fucking film festival.
Yeah, it was sick.
What do you got in the books in the old tank?
In the tank, well,
What's next?
I have some
For Off the Farm Productions, by the way, which is
yeah, so that's
the
the
production
name.
company.
Yeah, so that's the name of that. And well, we're doing our thing on this, and like obviously y'all get to see the episode, and I hope that's cool and all that. And like, yeah, I want to get into film and all that again, but I'll be honest with you, like it took a lot
Yeah.
to do it all. And like it's nothing to sit there. Like I have some movie ideas that I want to do. Like I
Right.
have a war movie that I want to do, a high school comedy, and there's another one that I just kind of touched upon, like about like Horn Road and all that, or
Oh shit.
the pit stop and Mayo's thing. So they're like there's
Yeah.
a whole dynamic there that I'd like to explore. So like I have some options, and like obviously I mean this adults thing is cool. It's fun. I mean it could be a show, like if you restructured it, did all that stuff to make it a thing. Because what it's really about, I mean, it's about young adult life,
Right.
in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The ups, the downs, like the craziness.
Yep.
And so I mean, what's next is whatever comes. I mean, I guess I
Would you rather like sell scripts as opposed to like do full productions?
no, I'd rather do the full production. It's just the thing is finding those connections and getting all that done is hard as hell.
Yeah.
Right. And so like what this is doing this podcast is another, iron in the fire
Yeah.
to get out there,
Right.
like to build a following. Because like I'd like to do little shorts. So if any of y'all are out there that want to do something, let's do it.
I mean,
Like I'd love to do shorts all the time. Because think about this. Now let's get into like a 30,000 foot view of the industry.
mhm.
Okay, the celebrity itself is not as big a deal as it was 5 years ago.
Right.
And I say that because there's multiple platforms of content
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. You can be entertained. I mean, there's shit I don't even know the name of it, but somebody right now is watching it.
Yep.
Right, but all over the place. But what that takes is a lot of actors.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to fill all that void. So like really now, you could do whatever. So we could sit there, if you're out there listening, we could make a little show and just have it on YouTube, right? And
Yep.
just do a little subsect and just, hey, maybe you get some ad money, but it's
Right.
just your little YouTube show.
Yeah.
You don't need to go beg and knock on the doors at these big studios anymore. It's like what the artists have done in the music industry.
Yeah.
You can be
everyone's
completely solo.
independent.
Because why the hell would you want some boss overlooking you if you didn't need it? If you had an option to just do you, right? And then you could have advisors and people helping you out and all that.
Yeah, you would do it.
Would that not sound better?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like that's what like I don't know. There's people on TikTok who aren't creative at all. They just whatever. But then there's people that you follow that do it's their own content, but it's so good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that Harry Mack dude that I love so much, right? I've been
Yeah.
following him for years. He just hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
right? This dude's a freestyle. He just literally will do Omegle, which is kind of like chat roulette back in the day, if anyone remembers that. And he'll pop up and he'll tell this person that he has never met to give him 3 words, and he does like a 3-minute freestyle, and he's incredible at it. Like
Yeah.
probably the best I've ever seen. And now that's his living. That's what he does. And so it's like the power of social media, which I've always said this, social media is the best thing to happen and the worst thing to happen.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. You got to accept it
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people who've made a lot of money in the last 5 years because of it.
Yeah. Well, and so to that point, it goes to what I'm saying about it. I wouldn't go the same route as I did last time.
Right.
I would do it smaller scale in every little bit of it. I would do like little shorts or something, just put on YouTube, like a little series.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, dude, if you think about it, the internet is getting bigger.
Oh, yeah.
More places have it, and so you could just you don't need to think just small, like here, like in North Carolina or the Southeast or what. No, dude, you could go, somebody in Australia might think your shit's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, you got 100,000 Australians over there thinking it's hilarious, and that catches on. I mean,
right.
It's
It
just
goes from there.
It's just an infinite. They're making it so infinite to get. People just jump from. You can go from hot to hot to hot all the time, and then the whole binge factor. You could knock it all out right then and there.
Exactly.
So you need something else.
Exactly.
So it's a never-ending chain.
Yeah, because like to take your show, like you said before, like your show is written for a 45 to 50-minute episode, right?
Yeah.
So now you take that, you break it down into 5-minute shorts, and now you have a 10-episode series on YouTube that's just popping.
Yeah, I could have done. Yeah,
right.
That's a whole nother way.
You spend $3-4 grand on a nice camera, and everything. You're doing everything yourself, and you're learning because like the editing software. I mean, you could have even done it with what I have.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wouldn't have. It would have been a little better, but it wouldn't have mattered. You could have figured it out yourself.
Yeah, and it was already going that way at that time, but now it's COVID accelerated the hell out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Home, yeah.
So now it's like, dude, and it's almost weird putting it out now because I did it. It feels like ages ago.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, over the last year and some change, like our lives, this wasn't your same life.
No. Yeah, no.
So life was way different.
Yeah.
And everything was feeling different. So I would do it a little different, but
I mean, and like I said, I was telling somebody the other day, like working from home.
Yeah.
Like, okay, when I take a lunch break at work, I get lunch. I sit in like a little cafeteria, chill, look at my phone, whatever. Here, it's like I make something in the kitchen real quick, and then I spend the next 30 to 45 minutes on my personal computer.
Yeah.
Messing with this stuff or figuring out something new, whatever. And that's what it's given me. It's been I guess, how do I say this? It's like the greatest year, but like the shittiest situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we made something out of a shitty situation. We made a podcast out of it.
But I've also learned like learning so much and being behind the scenes and figuring out these microphone bullshit and like this shit and like, it's cool. And if I can do it with this equipment, I can't imagine what like people younger than me, and they're doing it. Like YouTube channels, Instagram followers, and TikTok followers run the show.
Yeah, it's just a weird time now because like obviously things are gonna run through the same old school kind of channels. Channels by meaning like production companies and all that. There'll still be the ways doing it their old way. Then you're gonna have this new media as well.
Yeah,
which I mean it's good and bad because like I'm a big movie guy.
Those will never die though.
Mostly older movies.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like they won't die, but it won't be. They'll never have that through. Maybe it'll circle back. Everything always does, but that thrill of going to the movie theaters because that's the only place like you're gonna be able to see this thing.
Right.
And like you want to go in there just for that. Okay, yeah, you can have a great setup at home, but being in there is like a different feeling. Yeah. Like I've never been somewhere that has recreated the movie theater for me.
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
all we're doing now is convenience.
Yeah,
and it's not okay. Great, you're convened, but the feeling is not the same.
So you'd rather go to a movie theater and watch like an actual film as opposed to being able to order it at the crib.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
because you know why? Because you're at the house. You got your house. You got everything else going on in here.
Yeah.
You go to the movie theater. You have to turn off your phones and be respectful to others to enjoy it, and everybody's locked in to this motion picture.
Yeah, no.
You get what I'm saying? And so your brain is nowhere else but right there.
Yeah.
Completely focused.
On the film.
And
I think it's because you know what the fuck goes into all that shit.
Well, true. But I mean, I kind of thought that prior to doing that, I've always, I've loved movies, but I think that's the mystique of the movie theater.
Yeah.
It forces you to focus and you're in there and you're watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I don't know. It'll circle back to that because that feeling is rare. People will miss it and eventually go back.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, like what's like the proudest thing, like the biggest thing you take away from what you did from this production?
Man, just finishing it.
Yeah,
Fucking,
actually having a product.
yeah, in
Yeah.
my hand. That was and that's how I am. Like even when I just book an acting job, my favorite part of the acting job is when I sign out on the little sheet and I walk out of there. Like I did it.
Yeah,
All the nerves, all the stress, everything to get there. Because I mean, dude, they hire you for a job. It's in Atlanta. You got to get to a hotel, find a place to stay, get there at that time. All this little shit to go do your performance and like be somebody else for 10 hours and then you leave. So I mean, it's a whole crazy thing.
yeah,
And then you sign that little piece of paper. So for me, when I had the last edit done and I knew it was over,
yeah.
like over,
The satisfaction of it.
yeah, you know, because
it's pretty badass.
Because I had to take it. At the end of the day, I had to go to like 3 different editors,
Yeah.
and for all kinds of mess. I mean, it was just a never-ending money pit,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I was just when I finally had that last thing, and then you get to sit there and you just press play, and you're like, and you reflect on the whole thing.
it's crazy. It's like just under 23 minutes long, and
Mm-hmm.
boy, oh boy, just under 2 years.
Yeah, and yeah, and all that stuff. I mean, but I was just proud to have done it, and I know that like, man, all right, I can handle another one.
Yeah,
And I'll be
you learn. You
Yeah,
learn
and
what
I'll be able to
different.
do it. Obviously, I could be better
Mm-hmm.
in multiple facets,
Right.
but I know I can handle it, and I want to be able to handle it. Like I want to do another film. I just the opportunity, everything has to arise and come together.
Yeah,
You know.
that's the hardest part, getting all the stars to align.
Yeah, but I definitely want to. I want to leave my mark on the like. I want to put movies out there, so I am going to get back to like to writing these things. Like I have like the outlines of these movies, but like not written. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get back to that.
And I know a couple that you've talked about for years that would be
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. So I mean, it just is what it is. Hopefully we keep progressing in this venue,
You
which
gotta-
will lead us to other things. And like I'm still doing that. I'm still auditioning. Had audition today. So like, hopefully one of these things will set fire, and then we can roll.
There it goes.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got to get that old quill,
Yeah.
dip it in the ink, get it rolling again. But
Mhm.
no, so yes, the episode, the trailer or the pilot for adults, James's production is live now.
Yep.
On our YouTube channel. Go watch it, comment on it. Shoot us some questions. Shoot him some questions. I had a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
it was just crazy. It was so crazy to sit there and watch and be like, fucking hell. You're not filming this shit with a fucking GoPro or a damn handheld joint.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on like the damn the slide rails, the whole nine.
Oh yeah. Everything was.
It was legit, and you guys will see that in the short 4.5 minutes I saw. I was very, very impressed. Like I said, I'm proud that you did that shit because it's badass. I mean, for the rest of your life, you can say you did that,
Yep.
which is cool.
Yep.
So check that shit out, man. Go look at it, like it, comment on it, subscribe to the channel while you're at it.
Yeah, subscribe to YouTube because you know what? Well, hopefully we can get some shorts done over the summer. Some little funny skits.
Yeah, there's
'Cause that's what we want to do. We want the YouTube channel to be there for entertainment, which is why we're uploading this thing on the YouTube channel anyway. So like,
yeah. But
Rounders,
subscribe to the
peep it.
pod too,
Yep. Oh yeah, obviously.
and you'll see some things coming soon. There's actually a movie idea that I want you to do, but we I guess I'll go ahead and tell people we're gonna interview my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about her a couple times. She's 92. Has been like just the craziest shit. I was talking to her a couple weeks ago about it, and she agreed to do it. She said she'd love to. And it's not only for you guys to hear, but also for like me to keep. Right, like her eyesight's not the greatest, or whatever, but her brain just is all there. I mean, she'll still bust her balls and shit. Like it's hilarious. And like I want everyone in my family to like have everything on
Yeah.
audio, but it's gonna be interesting.
It'll be a treat for y'all too, though, because
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, the different scenarios she's been in her life and her accomplishments. I mean, it's a wild tale.
Wild tale, but it's just things like that.
Anywhere from the mafia to tennis.
Yeah. My he was involved with the mafia. And,
Well, you got to throw a little teaser out there.
yeah, so my grandfather was involved in the mafia.
Oh, that's it. That's all you get.
And my grandmother was world champion when she was 80 years old. So I'll leave it at that.
So that's coming soon.
Coming soon. till then, we'll catch you guys next week. Go watch the episode. Go look at the show. James spent a lot of time and a lot of fucking money. So, but it's for real. It turned out great. Go watch it. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.